Let's learn how to crochet mason jar cozies with this beautiful design. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. Today we're going to be making a beautiful but easy crochet mason jar cozy from Yarnspirations. Thank you so much to Yarnspirations for letting us use your pattern. It's featuring Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. You just need one ball and you can make several of these out of one ball. It ranges from 25 yards to 40 yards to 72 yards for the larger version. Also, you're going to need your jar. We've got an 8 ounce or a 16 ounce, which is 250 milliliters or 500 milliliters. The larger jar is about 1 liter, which is about 30 to 33 ounces. All right, so you'll be able to work with a wide mouth or standard jar for this pattern, and I'll give you notes as we go if you need to customize it to your size. So be sure and click down on the links below to get your supplies. Of course, you're going to need your cotton yarn. You're going to need your hook. It calls for a size F or 5, 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. I'm working with a G, which is a 4.25 millimeter because my tension is a little bit tighter. And you're going to need your mason jar. I'm going to work primarily on the medium. And if you look right here, you can see that it's basically this part here is just like this part here. So we're just going to double it. And then I'll show you some tweaks to be sure and make it wider if your jar is wider and whatnot. So let's dive right in. Be sure and get your pattern before you begin. See you in a moment. All right, so all versions of the base begin exactly the same way. We're going to start off by making a slip knot. I like to wrap mine around my finger twice, pull the back loop over the front slightly, and then do that one more time up and over the tip of your finger. That makes a slip knot. Place it right on top of your hook and tighten it up. Go ahead and chain 2, so that slip knot does not count as a stitch. Chain 1 and 2. And then we're going to go into this very first stitch and we're going to put 6 single crochets. So the second chain from the hook, 6 single crochets. Go right in there, pull up a stitch, yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Go in again, pull up a stitch, yarn over, pull through, 2, and go in, pull up a stitch. And before I finish number 3, you can see that I'm laying my tail right over that stitch. And when I yarn over and pull through, it's going to trap it inside. So if I trap inside my tail as I go around and around, this beginning tail gets woven in as we go, and it's a stronger connection. All right, so I've got 3. We want to do 3 more. So this is 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And now we want to join the slip stitch to the first single crochet. So here's my first single crochet. Here we go. Making sure to keep that tail on the top. Pull through 1 stitch. So we're just yarning over, pull through a stitch, and then we just slip it through. Okay, and that is our first round. We're going to the second round. We're going to chain 1. Then we want 2 single crochets in each stitch. So we go to this next stitch here and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Go into that same stitch here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, 2. Continuing to let my beginning tail be wrapped up in here. Move on to the next one and do 2 single crochets into that stitch. You're going to continue repeating around until you have 12 stitches for the second round. 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to go to the top of that where my 12 is, and we're going to pull through and slip stitch that over. Okay, so now we have 12 stitches ending round 2. We're going to go to the third round and chain up 1, and now we want to one single crochet in the next stitch right here. That's one single crochet in the next stitch, and then we want to 2 single crochet in the next single crochet. So 2 of them in this next one. 1, 2. Okay, and I need to snip that. That's part of my tail there. And then we just repeat that. So we're doing 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, and then 2 in the next one. Okay, so 1 single crochet, and the next one is 2. Okay, and continue all the way around until you have 18 stitches. So we've got 18 stitches. You can go ahead and double check that. I like to make sure all my stitch counts are right. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this is the 18th one. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and slip. So that completes round 3. Round 4, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and each of the next 2 stitches. You can also go straight down into this stitch here because your chain doesn't actually count as a stitch. So we're going to go into this first chain and pull up a loop and single crochet and do it that way. And if you want to count your stitches a little bit easier, you can take a stitch marker and place it in right here. This is that first stitch. Okay, so you just need a locking stitch marker. Lock that up, and that's your first stitch that you're going to go into when you complete your round. So this one's also handy when you make the larger one because you're going to have much more stitches. So we got 1 here, so we're going to be 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we just did 1. We're going to do 2 in this one. That's our number 2. And then we're going to do 2 in the third one. So 1 and 2. So that is our pattern for getting 4 stitches in here. So we're going to 1 in the next, our second one in the next, and then numbers 3 and 4 in that third stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so let's count that again. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next, the second one, and the one after that, and the third and fourth in the same stitch after that. All right, continue until you have your 24 stitches. All right, so we're at our 24th stitch, and there it is. And if you did the stitch right below where that chain was, then you'll have a little bit more of a gap over here. It's still the right amount of stitches. So you can always just count to double check, and we're going to slip stitch that at the end to the first single crochet. And now we're going to do the 5th round, which is chain 1, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 in the next one. So that's number 4 and 5. Okay, so you're doing 5 stitches along here in the next 4 stitches. So let's do that one again. 1 in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 together in the same stitch. 4 and 5. And you're going to continue until you have 30 stitches, and you're going to fasten it with a slip stitch in the end of this one. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so we've got 30 stitches. We want to slip to that very first single crochet and slip stitch that. And that concludes your small version and your medium version of the base. Go ahead and check the base of your jar, put it right on top of it, and if that fits, you are good to go. If you find that you need something wider, then jump to the instructions for the large version. Basically, it's going to have you increase till you have about 42 stitches. So let's move on, and this is the same for the small or the medium. Same instructions here. We're going to work base to the end of the 5th round, which we just did, and then for the 6th round you want to chain 1 and then work in the back loops only. So you have these stitches here that make the V right here. Okay, so we're just going to go right into the back of this loop. Oops. So you got the front and the back loop. We're just going to go back loop only and single crochet all the way around. So back loop only, single crochet, and continue until you have all 30 stitches picked up and slip at the end of that round. Pause your video and I'll meet you at that point. So by now it has been curving either like this or like this. You want it to kind of curve this way because your jar is going to set right inside. You want to make sure you've got 30 stitches. I've done the back loop of this last stitch, and we're going to slip into that very first stitch here. Go through both of them now. Okay, pull up a loop and slip it. And now we're going to proceed in the body pattern as follows in the next 4 rounds. So we're going to be making this stitch pattern that has these double crochets, and then we're going to follow it with some single crochets here, and then make a round that has some V stitches, and then into the V stitches we're going to be making these pretty little clusters. So from here to here are the next 4 rounds, and then that actually gets repeated twice on the medium one. So you can see this stitch pattern goes here to here and actually shifts. You don't have to do anything, but it has that nice shift to it. In fact, if you were doing the large jar, it would do that one more time, so it would shift back into place. And so that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So these are going to be the next 4 rounds for you. Do round 1 and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this counts as your double crochet in a chain 1. And when you count down from here, you can see there's a stitch right here. We're going to not count that. We're going to skip over the one after that and then go into the one after that. So this one right here counts as this double crochet, and then skip the next stitch, and we're going to be looking into this one here, and we're going to double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, insert into that stitch, both loops here, and yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops only, yarn over and pull through 2, and then chain 1. So that was a double crochet and a chain 1. Let's do that again. Yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the one after that, go through both, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and chain 1. Continue your double crochet and chain all the way around. You're going to have 15 of these double crochets, including this one here, and then we're going to join at the end of that round. Pause your video and I'll see you then. Okay, so you've done your last double crochet and a chain 1. We're going to go into the 3rd chain from the chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and you're leaving one more here. So we're just going to go into this stitch here. There we go. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and slip that stitch. And now you have 15 of these around. We're ready for the 2nd round. Chain 1. That doesn't count as your stitch, and we're going to single crochet in each stitch around. Now I will tell you, in this sample here I went into each individual stitch, and you can actually just go right around the space here. So let me show you my sample here. This one I'm working with the yarn that has or color changing with sugar and cream. And you can just go right into that chain space, and it makes it much easier and faster. So the directions say to 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So go directly below where you chained, and that's going to be your first single crochet. So right above that post. Okay, and then now go into the chain space, and we're going to single crochet. Okay, and then go on the top of the post and single crochet. The next chain space, pull up the yarn, yarn over, pull through, single crochet. So single crochet in the top of each post of each double crochet, and then 1 in each chain space. All right, pause your video and meet me back up at the end of this round. See you soon. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this round. You've got 1 more chain space. We're going to single crochet in there. And then you want to join with the first stitch, just with a slip stitch. Go ahead and join that. That ends round 2. We're going to move on to round 3. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's going to count as a double crochet and a chain 2. Now we want to single crochet. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and go into the 3rd one. So don't count this one right down below here, because that goes with this post here. So we're going to come all the way down. We're skipping 1, 2, going to this 3rd one, single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to make a V-stitch. Okay, so that is going to be a skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to DC, double crochet, chain 2, and then double crochet to make a V-stitch. So skip the next 2, 1, 2, go into this one, going to yarn over, so you've yarned over before, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet into that same space there, or same stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, that makes a V here. So we want to chain 2 right after, 1, 2, and now we're going to repeat with a single crochet. So skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, go into this one, single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and then a V-stitch. So yarn over, skip 2 stitches, go into the 3rd, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 2. Repeat with your single crochet and their V-stitch all the way around until you get to the very beginning, and you're going to be doing 1 double crochet in here and chain 2, and we'll attach these 2 together. So I'll do that with you in here in a moment. Pause your video and see you there. We're coming to the end of round 3. We've done our last single crochet, and then you have this chain 5 that we originally did. So this is going to finish out as a V-stitch. So we're going to go right into this chain here, or this stitch here, and double crochet. But first you need to chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, double crochet right into that stitch, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the chain 5. So we're going 1, 2, 3, and go right into that chain there. Okay, yarn over and pull up a loop and slip. So that way you have your 2 chains in between. Okay, you're ready for round 4. Go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now this is where we're going to do something called DCL. Okay, DCL, let's pull out our directions. And in the abbreviations up here, we have DCL. This is YOH, it's yarn over hook, that's what that means. And draw up a loop, and then we yarn over hook again and draw through 2 loops on the hook. And then you repeat that until you have 4 loops on your hook when you do the yarn over and draw through, and you have 4 loops on your hook. And then I'll show you what you do after those 4, okay? So I'm going to refer to these directions off to the side. We've got our chain 3, and then we're going to do our first DCL chain 3 times in the chain 2 space on the next V-stitch. So we go over to our next V-stitch because we're at the end of this V, and we'll settle that up at the end of this round, but go all the way over to this one. It looks like a stretch, but it will work out. You're going to yarn over your hook and then go into that next V-stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, okay? Then we're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now we're going to yarn over again, go back into that V-stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops only, 1 and 2. You got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into that V-stitch again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, that's 1 and 2, and now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through all 4, and that has got 1 cluster on your V-stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull through to chain 1, okay? So you're going to repeat 2 more of these clusters in the same V-stitch here. So this is the 3 times. So you just did a DCL chain 1 time, and you need it 3 times. So let's do it again. Yarn over, go into the V-stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, into the V-stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You've only got 3 on the hook. Yarn over, into the V, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 1, 2. You got 4 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain. Okay, we've got 2 clusters. 1 more, yarn over, into the V, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, into the V, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, into the V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through to get a cluster, and then you yarn over, pull up, and you've got your chain. So we've done that 3 times now, and now we move on to the next V space. Okay, so you're just going to be completing that again. So complete your clusters all the way around your DCL and chain 1 3 times in each of them. And when you get to this very last one, pause your video and we'll do this together. See you in a moment. We're at the end of our 4th round. We've done our last cluster and we have 1 more V-stitch left. So we need to do 2 of the 3 clusters, and then we'll modify the last one and attach it to the beginning cluster. So go ahead and yarn over, go into that V-stitch and make your first 2 clusters. Pause your video as you need. Okay, there's 1. And 2. Okay, after I do that second DCL and chain, now I want to yarn over, go in just as I've done before, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, do it again, yarn over, pull through 2, and we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. We're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So here's the top of the chain 3, right here, a little tight, and slip, Okay, so now we have that 4th round completed, and we've got our pattern just as you need it. So now you're going to make the 5th and 6th rounds at just as the 1st and 2nd. So that is going to be for the smaller ones. So you're just going to repeat those 1st and 2nd rounds, this part and this part, to make the smaller one, and then you'll make that single crochet all the way around to finish it off here. If you find that it's too short, like on this one, just for the small one, after I did those next few rounds, I went ahead and added one more round of half double crochet, and then I fastened it off. So if you want to make the medium one, then what you want to do is go ahead and you're going to make a repeat. So the medium is working from this repetitive line here. So the medium version, you're going to repeat on rounds 5 through 8, those first rounds 1 through 4. So you're doubling up on your pattern. And then you come to here in the 9th and 10th rounds, you're repeating the 1st and 2nd rounds of the body pattern. So you just come back over here and repeat those 2, which are these right here, okay? And then you're doing one more round of single crochet, which is that 11th round, and then you fasten it off. And like I said, if you need a little bit more height on there, you can add a half double crochet to the top. So we will go ahead and repeat those rounds, and I'll join you to finish this off. So now we're going to repeat those rounds. You're just chaining 4 on that first round where the body pattern is. Chain 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that counts as your double crochet and a chain 1. And you're going to skip the next stitch and double crochet into this stitch here. It's at the top of this cluster, so it looks a little different on this round as it did before. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 1. Okay, and yarn over. You're going to go in the top of this next cluster, and you're going to double crochet, and chain 1, and then yarn over and go right into this space between the 2 clusters. You can go in right at the top of the cluster here, but you can just go into that chain space and it's much faster. Make your double crochet and your chain. So you're just going to continue repeating, going around in the tops of each cluster and in that chain space with a double crochet and chain 1, and I'll meet you back at the end of this round. See you soon. All right, so at the end of round 1, you're going to join with the slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the chain 4. So we go to 1, 2, 3, and you're just going to be leaving basically 1 chain up next to that double crochet, so you get your chain space. It's not cooperating with me today. There we go. Yarn over and slip that stitch. Okay, and then now you're going to start the 2nd round where you are doing a chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet into that top of that post there, and then single crochet into each space. So single crochet top of the post and single crochet into the space. Complete rounds 2, 3, and 4. So remember, you're going to be doing the V-stitches and the clusters. You can rewind the video to go back to that. And when you're at the end of round 4, meet me back up and we'll go to the next spot. See you in a moment. Okay, so I finished the 4th round in my repeat of this pattern in the body. And now I want to make another one of the 1st rounds and 2nd rounds. So again, when you come to the end of this cluster, you're going to be chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then skipping over and doing a double crochet in the top of this cluster, and then you just chain 1. So double crochet, and then chain 1, Go into the top of the next cluster. And chain 1. And then you can go in between these 2 clusters here. Oops. Go ahead and double crochet there. And chain 1 and repeat all the way around. And then of course make your second round as you did before. Pause your video and meet me back up for finishing this off. See you soon. So on the medium one, I have done the 9th and 10th rounds, which is the double crochet and the single crochet round. And the 11th round is just repeating the second round again and then fastening off. Now, this is a great part where you can take your work and kind of pull out a big loop and go ahead and put in your jar and see how much room you have. So if you want to build it up and make it a little bit longer or taller, you can. So my round will come up just a little bit, just like this one. But if you want it to completely cover this opening here and not have this jar lid on there, I suggest doing what I was talking about earlier, where you can add in a half double crochet. So you can do that right here. And then finish off with a single crochet, either one. So either do the half double or the single crochet. I'll show you how to do the half double and add that in here. This is not in the pattern, this is just something I'm adding. So you can just go on in and yarn over and go into that very first stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and then move on to the next one. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. So you're going to continue going all the way around, and then you just connect in the round and do one more round of single crochet, and I'll show you how tall this one ends up, and we'll fasten it off together. Pause your video and I'll see you in a moment. I'm at the end of my single crochet line here around. We're going to go and fasten off right here at the first single crochet, pull through and slip stitch that. Okay, and that completes it. Just going to pull out a big loop, go ahead and cut that and pull it through. And then now you just need your tapestry needle to sew that on in. You're just going to weave in your tails. And I like to go down through the stitch here and then pick up one of these. That tightens that up, and then pick up stitches here and start weaving in, going through, going in different directions and picking up the stitches to go down here and secure the tails really well. And I suggest going in several different directions. I'll go through a few stitches and then come back the other direction, making sure not to pull it back out the other way. Just pull it through and trim, and then place that on your jar. And you can see how this one comes up much further. I could take that lid off and comes right up to here. So you could even use starch on this and take the jar out, and then it would be a nice stiff object here. You could put something in as well. These would be great gifts here. You can even make this like a for ear swabs and Q-tips or whatever. So this is a really cute project, especially for giving gifts and things like that. You can even use them for drink mugs. Probably want to keep the lip on here, and it keeps your hand nice and cool, but not too cold with a nice drink. Makes a great gift for putting candies and drink mixes in to give to your neighbors and friends. And this little one right here, and it makes a great one for putting in candles and stuff. Both of them do. I hope you enjoyed making your crochet mason jar cozy here on GoodKnit Kisses. Be sure and click to subscribe for more information, or on one of our video playlists for more crochet videos to come. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.